Greetings, Autobots, and welcome back to Autobot ASMR's Transformers Reviews. We've got a special one for you tonight, folks, because courtesy of, well, not courtesy, I bought it myself, but I recently bought myself a little late birthday present, as it were, and I decided to pick up the Takara Transformers Rise of the Beasts Optimus Primal. But before we get stuck into the figure, we're going to take a look at the packaging because I think this packaging is pretty cool. You've got this big proper box here, authentic Takara product as sold in Japan. Now, this isn't part of any mainline or studio series. This is its own separate thing, and I think you guys are going to love what's in store for this video. There, just pretend I'm typing away on my invisible typewriter like that one episode from The Simpsons. We have fun here. But flip around to the back, we have Transformers Rise of the Beasts, Optimus Primal, authentic Takara product sold in Japan, includes figure, 4 pieces, and instructions. Lucky for you, I've memorized the transformations, so yeah. But let's pop open the box and get a look at the actual main packaging, because I think you guys would love to see what this looks like. Let's just slide it up. And pow, there we go. Let's see, bring the camera up. Now, something fascinating about this figure in particular is that in Japan, they had the clear or the plastic little windows. They had the plastic windows that were all over toys back when I was growing up. So it's interesting to see how Japan still hasn't really modernized in that regards. That sounds really awful out of context. What the hell? But in terms of their recycling, this is definitely a lot more classic, but it was really cool because you got to see the robot mode in the box, and even like all the text is in Japanese. But flip around to the side, and let me just rotate it around so you guys can see that awesome Optimus Primal render. We've got the Maximal insignia, Takara smack dab there. As for the main portion of the box, as you can see here, it says Beast Mode and Robot Mode with, as you can see here, interchangeable, swappable faceplates, arm cannons, shoulder-mounted rockets, and is compatible with the Beast Weaponizers or Battle Masters. You've got Chainclaw, which I have. I don't have Rhinox or Cheetor or any of the other Battle Masters, but I might pick them up just for the sake of having this in my collection. You never know. I think it would make for a pretty cool video if you ask me. So that is pretty much it for the packaging. Well, it does show here the figure itself as well as a few little goodies, but that's essentially it for the packaging. So we'll just pop that off to the side. Nice and gentle like. And we'll get ourselves oriented back into position and take a look at the Beast Mode or the 8 mode for Optimus Primal. And I love how this guy looks. Like right off the bat, I'm just gonna be upfront. This figure just takes me straight back to when Transformers figures, leader class when I was growing up, they were big. I mean, they're still big nowadays, but this guy is loaded with play features and gimmicks that just you wouldn't see on like the studio series Primal. But you can see just some wonderful detailing. This almost looks like speakers on the monkey mode chest. This metallic silver that just that's proper craftsmanship. That is, with a Maximal insignia painted there, right smack dab in the middle. And oh my goodness, I love this guy. But if you just look all around him, he's got black plastic with a few little splashes of silver here and there. But I think the quality of the figure as well as just the detailing makes the little things like that, like even in the face, you take a look at his face there, those emerald eyes and the little silver face area, It just looks absolutely terrific. But in regards to, well, the Posability is kind of similar to that, but if you want, you can sort of straighten out the legs to give them a more, here, let me zoom out a wee smidge, there we go, much better. But his legs are actually on pretty clicky ratchets. I'll let you hear them real quick. Now that's quality craftsmanship, that is. Now, if we come around to the actual ape head, unfortunately it's kind of limited. We can't really bend it down because the range of motion is limited. So we can't have him. We can't really replicate the poses where he stands up and beats his chest like in the movie. But the Studio Series Primal though looks to actually be able to do just that. But we can get a close approximation if we just wiggle the arms a little smidge. Yeah, we can kind of have him beating his chest here, just like just have him freaking out there a little bit. But let's get him back into his ape mode before we transfer him back into robot. Take the legs, flip it around. That's one thing I'll say about this figure. The transformation feels straight up reminiscent of the original Beast Wars Optimus Primal, and to an extent the Rise of the Beast Voyager Optimus Primal, which I do believe I have looked at on the channel before, though I can't quite recall. Oh wait, actually I tell a lie, I had recorded that a whiles back, but I just wasn't happy with the quality, so I ultimately said, you know what, we'll leave that there and we'll come back to it later, and eventually we'll get it filmed and it'll be of proper great quality for you guys. Now Primal does come with 4 accessories as stated on the box. He has his scimitar blades cast in a sort of gunmetal or grey plastic with these nice energon infused little flame details, very reminiscent of Optimus's energon swords and axe in the movies, but you can actually peg them together so you can have him dual wielding a larger batarang of death, because hey, it looks like a batarang. But these swords are big. Like, think of, look at the size of that. That's nearly my hand. These things are massive, and this figure as well, he's a proper chunkster. But the other 2 accessories he comes with are these little missiles cast in black plastic with some interesting detailing. It almost looks like hair, though probably it's more supposed to be, I don't know, maybe like flame effect or something, but it kind of looks like there's just hair all over them. It looks like his earbuds. Oh, I might have Maximal need proper grooming care. Food for thought. But let's get stuck into Primal's transformation. Well, transform, yeah, but I think he would say somewhere like Optimus Primal, maximize. So first, let me just reorient the camera. Just raise him up. He's like, have you got games on your phone? I see Angry Birds sitting there. Alright, enough joking around. So what we're going to want to do is lift up his arse flap here, lift up his big old butt flap, and come around to the legs, straighten them up like this, and then come to what will be his robot foot, and just click it in just like that. And take his, well, this was one of his arse flaps, but now it's going to be his arse flap in the robot mode. So we'll just do the same thing for the other leg. Take the leg, straighten it out, flip in the foot, nice and secure. Straighten up the legs, and take this little part here, and what I like to do is just rotate it around like this for the time being, and just sort of leave it like that. You'll see why in a bit. Rotate the waist 180, so the robot mode crotch is facing forward, and would you believe it if I said we're pretty much halfway there? So we're going to bring the arms down, flip up the shoulder pads, take the robot mode fists, rotate them so they're facing like such, And then you're going to want to take the monkey chest or the ape chest and then rotate it 180 so you get this transformed robot chest, but don't plug it in just yet, and there's a reason for that. Because we're going to come around to the back here and split this whole back section. That's why you want to keep this bit sort of angled, because it does clash. In fact, you know what? We'll make it easier on ourselves and we'll rotate that around for the time being, and that just gives us more wiggle room, just like that. And what you're going to want to do is take this whole head assembly, it is on an armature essentially, you're just going to want to pull it out and then sort of bring the head down so you have a bit of clearance, rotate it like such and push it in, and then just bring the head down so this little panel area is facing straight. Flatten the ape head as far as it will go and then close that up. And okay, I have to do this. It's like Iron Man. You guys remember that scene in Iron Man 1 whenever he's putting on the Mark III, the red and gold version, and there's that close-up shot where the chest just goes and his arc reactor powers up. I just want to replicate that there. So close up the chest, it'll click in nice and secure like. Just make sure the head is oriented properly. And finally, what we're going to want to do is just come to his former monkey buttocks, and there is a little tab, as you can see here, and a slot right there. So we'll just click that in, nice and secure. Oh, and finally, you're going to want to rotate the waist 180, and here you have the leader of the Maximals, Optimus Primal, in his robot mode. And wow. Okay, you guys know I'm normally an Optimus Prime kind of guy, but this figure in particular really sold me, and Rise of the Beasts as well in particular just really sold me and endeared me to the idea of Transformers that turned into animals. The Maximals, the Predacons. This guy in particular just looks so cool. The jet black, the mechanical detail that clashes and also melds with the synthetic ape fur, and even the little details here, like you can see fur, like textured plastic fur hanging off his shoulder pads. I mean, that's just awesome. You know, it's such, because this guy was a lot more expensive. He was about 60, it was like 50 to 60 quid, so he was a bit more pricey, but Amazon charged a bit more for him because, well, reasons, I don't know, inflation or whatever, some nonsense. But Primal here is essentially what Leader Class used to be when I was a kid, and I couldn't be happier to have this guy in my collection. Arguably, until the Studio Series Primal comes out, this is the definitive movie Primal for me. But there is one little thing you're probably asking, you're probably saying, Autobot, hey, what's the deal with his face? Why's he got those big womanly lips? Well, I'll tell you why. Because like in the movie, he has a changeable faceplate, kind of like Optimus Prime. But his faceplate is very unique in how it's changed. Because what you're going to want to do is put your thumb right on this little crest here on his head and just bring it up, and it will rather terrifyingly open his face like some kind of Resident Evil monster. And then you're going to want to just put your finger on his face and rotate it around. I should probably show you there. Rotate it like such, and then bring the head of your choice down, and bang! There you have Primal with his traditional Optimus style faceplate. And this is easily my favourite way to display him. The way his face looks in particular, he's got the Optimus crest, the little antenna, the faceplate, but he's got his own look, the piercing emerald green, the silver on the faceplate, and the jet black just gives him that familiar but different look, you know? And goodness, I almost forgot to talk about posability. I was in such a rush I was so excited just to show all the different bits, but Primal is really good in terms of posability. The head is on a ball joint, so it can move up about this far before it starts to think, oh, you're trying to change the faceplate. It can move side to side like that, so pretty decent range of motion. Arms can rotate the full 360, can move out that far, and you have you can swivel at the forearm. You you have a wrist swivel, wrist rotation. We can come around to the legs. They move out pretty far. You have a mega monkey split. Sounds like a type of ice cream. Honestly, I've never had a banana split before. I wonder if they're any good. But food rambling aside, the legs have really clicky ratchets that can go back pretty damn far. And the knees have their own ratchet joints that can bend that far. That is more so for transformation, but it still allows for a decent knee bend. And the toe is on a mean pivot. It can pivot incredibly far. So Primal, in terms of posability, oh, he's really good. So in fact, just to show his posability, I'm going to put him in a little action pose. Give him a little... In fact, you know what? This would be a good chance to show off one of his play gimmicks, because I'm putting him in a pose here, as you can see. But Primal, as you may have noticed, has these big lumps, these big 5mm ports, and this odd-looking piece of fur. And you may be thinking, well, what's the deal with that? Well, as you can see, there's a little button. There's a rather well-hidden button that when you press... Sorry, voice crack. Voice broken. But if you press it, pow, you get little arm cannons, just like the original Optimus Primal figure. And it's like, this is just a taste of some of the poses you can get, and then like, check that out. Look at the detail, the aggression, the poise. Like, this is definitely Optimus Primal. This isn't like a milquetoast run-of-the-mill Optimus Primal. This is quality, that is. But there's a few other little features here. He does in fact have the rockets on both arms, but we will be showing off his other features and accessories shortly. So just plug the hands or the rockets back in, and it is a bit interesting how you get the shoulder rockets out, because as you noticed at the start, he has little shoulder rockets. So what you're going to want to do is take the chest and essentially like take this part, and then that will allow you to just put a little bit of pressure there and just unplug the chest. That'll give us, and then you're going to want to rotate the whole waist around just so you have more room to lower this section here. And you will see there are these little cannons, and there's these shoulder pads that cover them up. So you're going to want to just get your finger, preferably like have a fingernail or an object, to just wiggle them out, and then using your finger just push them out, like just bringing them out of their hidey hole. And then you can have Optimus Primal with dual shoulder rockets, and you can even plug in his little, plug that in, come on, I think we're having a little bit of a teething problem. Oh, never mind, plugged it in nice and secure. So the missiles, I think, I'm not sure how you launch them, in all honesty. You know, maybe someone in the comments can fill me in, but you can plug them in and they do launch. I've seen videos of people who launch them, but I don't know how. So no missiles, sadly. Autobot has effectively called for the neutralization of missiles. Plus they would probably make a lot of noise, and I don't know if it would be very pleasant to listen to. Ah well, you win some, you lose some. So that's essentially it for Primal's robot mode, bar just one little thing, or two in this case. He has his scimitars. I think that's what they're called, his scimitar blades, which you can actually move his fingers. His fingers are actually posable. They have a few little bits or joints here and there that allow you to really just clasp them, clench them like fists. And we'll just be plugging in his scimitar blades, just like that. Close up the fist, and you can have him wielding both of his swords. If I could just orient that right. There we go, his fists, his fingers get pretty we're pretty firm around that. When they close over, he can hold his swords really firmly, so don't worry about them slipping. But you can have him. It almost looks like he's got a jetpack. He's like, then he's got his swords. He's like ready to defend Earth from the Terracon Scourge. Garrigo cross swords. Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. I apologize if I'm a little bit giddy or excited for this video, but screw it. I love this figure and I think you should absolutely get it. It may be a bit pricey for some folks, but as a Christmas gift or even just as a gift in general, you can't go wrong with this guy. He gets my definite recommendation and then some. So let's transform him back into his ape mode. So same drill as before, rotate the waist around, and we're essentially going to be transforming these cannons normally as the way we normally do. So just bring, let's say, take the chest, bring it down, rotate it 180 so the 8 mode chest is facing forward. Take the cannons and just bring them down. They're on like a hinge, so you can push them down and they'll sort of sit in place. Well, my big old mitts were in the road, so apologies if you couldn't see that, but we'll just take that. Well, actually, I forget, I normally don't commentate much about the second transformation, so we'll just talk about Transformers in general, because in particular I really enjoyed Rise of the Beasts, though I do feel like it could have done a little bit more in regards to showing the Maximals. The fact that Rhinox didn't talk was kinda disappointing, honestly, but the movie itself was really good. Easily one of my favourite Transformers movies, though does it beat Dark of the Moon? I don't know, it's a tricky call to make, Autobots. It really is. But the way I see it, all the Transformers movies have something special in their own regard. Even The Last Night, which I vehemently dislike. My Uncle Stephen, he adores The Last Night. He says to me, you know what I love about that movie? The knights, the action, the feeling of the Autobots or the Transformers being in ancient history. I just think that's really cool. And you know what? More power to him. Can't argue with that. Even if there are things about the movie that I dislike, there are a few things I enjoy. Well, there may be few, but you know, it's better few than none. So we're almost done there with the transformation. Just fold everything up. Close over that big old butt flap. And here we have Primal back in his robot mode. So, with all being said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a blast making this one in particular. It was really cool to get to do a leader class style figure again, but also one that feels reminiscent of those old leader classes of the bygone era, I suppose. I'm just getting to show off this really cool Optimus Primal, as well as do it in this format for you guys to all enjoy for the channel, was just terrific. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe and join the Autobot army today. Until next time, this is Autobot ASMR signing off for the day. I should probably come up with one for the Maximals though. I could just do my regular Autobots transform and roll out to bed. Because I mean, maximize in bed kind of sounds like a dirty joke. Oh dear. Till all are one.